Hey guys, Coach Ben here, bigbenchas.com. So I wanted to talk about how to get your shoulders in a good initial position on the bench. So if you've been watching some of our setup videos and you know how crucial of an element that is to a successful bench press, you know it starts with just getting your shoulders in a good initial position. All right, real simple, that's an easy step, but oftentimes it goes overlooked. All right, we don't want to start mixing like a bridge and push back and all this stuff unless we're in a good initial position, because we're not going to get the best transfer to positioning that we can unless we really pinch our shoulder blades and pull them underneath us. Okay, so the good pinch and tuck is what we're after here, shoulders under, so to speak. And if you have done any benching in a commercial gym, if you're starting to watch us and you have a bodybuilding background where you're just using the bench press as a way to build your chest, this is all going to be new information for you. All right, I think powerlifters typically understand this concept. However, coming from that different background, maybe a sports background where they don't teach this quite in a strength conditioning type facility, maybe in a college setting or wherever you came from. All right, very important that you take your shoulders out of play with a powerlifting bench press. And you see how many injuries on the bench at like your local commercial gym bench. All these guys saying, oh, shoulders beat up. I tore this, I tore that, and they can't bench heavy anymore. You see that all the time. And that's because they're never getting their shoulders in a good position to press. They're probably overdoing the press as well, and they're really putting tons of load right into their shoulder joint, and it's going to be a recipe for disaster. Okay, don't let that happen to you. You want to press more weight, and you want to do it safely and effectively. So that's what we're going to work on here. And you'll see as I go through this, I can use anything to help leverage this. All right, so watch what I mean by that. Okay, so what are we trying to get into? We're trying to get into just a good initial pinch and tuck. So I could do that without touching anything. All right, I could just kind of lift myself a bit like that. I could wiggle my shoulder blades together and just pull my chest up a bit. So that pretty much gets me there. Okay, I've also used the safety things here. All right, now at a meet you might not encounter these being exactly right here. They're probably going to be lower or higher, whatever the case may be. All right, so they might not have that, so I wouldn't get used to it, but this gives me a really good shoulder pinch. I just popped something in my back because I'm leveraging now. So now I can get some force into it and then help pull. Okay, so that's even better. All right, lifters can also do this. This is pretty standard. This helps pull your shoulder blades down more. So you can see I'm kind of crawling my shoulder blades together, pulling them down. So the posts work really well, and you can pretty much count on these being here no matter where you're benching. You can use the bar. I've seen people push against the bar to help create that leverage. All right, that's not a bad strategy either. Just make sure it comes forward again. Something I also do, I start back here, and I will either grab on like this or just grab on like that. If you're in a shirt, if you're a multi-ply, single-ply lifter, you're going to want to do the underhand, because over, you're not going to be able to fight against the shirt. So you want to be like that. You can pull into it and then drop your shoulders and work it from there. All right, that's a really good, effective way. And with my raw work, I will lift up on the bar and plant. Okay, something I don't typically like seeing, I've been seeing more often, is lifters doing this. All right, and trying to leverage this way. Okay, not the most effective, and you can feel the difference if you try out any of these things. All right, and this also, you gotta be careful no matter what you're grabbing onto, especially female lifters, just typically smaller builds. All right, sometimes trying to reach out to these different things is actually untucking your shoulders. All right, so you're not gonna get as good a pinch and tuck as you can, because now you're actually using, you're trying to grab something that's gonna stretch your shoulder blade out. Okay, so you gotta be very careful of that. But I mean, that's just some of the many ways you can get into that good initial pinch and tuck. All right, and you have to experiment with it, and you gotta make sure you have good gripping material to the pad. A couple ways to counteract that, just bands across the bench or a yoga mat. Real simple, good commercial gym solution. All right, guys, remember, shoulders under. Take them out of play, No risk, big weight. Coach Ben here. And you can meet me on a bench.